Thank you for joining me for Emotions Monday, where we take an emotional word of the day, we define that word according to the dictionary, we describe it in daily living, and we decide, are we going to increase or decrease that emotion? Today's emotional word of the day is challenging. The dictionary defines it as testing one's ability, as something that is demanding. Now, let's look at the word challenging in daily living. This is when you find a job or class that will test your intelligence and make you work harder than you've ever worked. And in the end of doing all that hard work, whether because the job is something new that you did not know how to do and you had to master, or the class introduced concepts and work that you had to pull from a different level of intelligence to be able to understand, master, and succeed in, at the end of that, you are left feeling surprised about your own ability and left feeling like, wow, I did that. Right? That sense of really being proud of yourself and knowing that the promotion that you get from the job or the accolades that you get from the job, the A that you got on that test or that class, you earned every bit of it. You can see the work that you put in, and you can see that it produced what you expected, but it was challenging. Another way of looking at challenging is when you're trying to build something, and you're doing something that has never been done before. This can be challenging because it pulls and draws on your talents, your creativity, and your gifts. Not every challenging thing is immediately easy to see. There are some things that we have to search out for and work through because they're difficult. Sometimes we walk into a challenge and we didn't even know that we walked into a challenge. We started doing something, it seemed easy at first, and then when we got in the middle of it, we're like, wow, this is actually pretty difficult. And we surprised ourselves because we had to push through that difficulty, that challenge, to achieve the goal, to master it, to be successful. And it came slowly and it came as a surprise, but we did not walk away from it. We didn't give up. We kept going and we mastered that challenge. That's a great feeling. Now, when we're faced with challenges, we can see it in two ways. One, you can see it as it's come to stretch our abilities and our limits. Challenges can be exciting and stimulating because you're doing something new, something that's not easy, and it allows you to feel like you mastered and you won and you conquered when you finish that thing. A challenge can inspire you to do something that you would before have delayed on, procrastinated. You might have walked away from it. But now, because you took on that challenge, you're open up to more possibilities and a possibility of being really successful at the thing that you're trying. Now, some people are discouraged when it comes to challenges because it's difficult and it takes time and they don't get that rewarding feeling at first and they have to wait for the reward. There are challenging jobs, people, and family members. There are family members that will trigger negative feelings in you and that will seem like when you're around them that they're a burden to be around because they take up so much energy. Or they take up all the energy in the room and no one else gets to say anything. Now that's a challenge. That is a challenge that would not excite, it would not inspire, or make you feel like you're winning when you're dealing with difficult people, especially if they're close to you or they're family members. But dealing with difficult people may be a challenge worth enduring to keep the family together, to grow in patience, to grow in love, and to definitely practice and exercise forgiveness. There's nothing like a challenging relationship with difficulties and disappointments to teach you how to exercise love and forgiveness, not only towards other people, but sometimes towards yourself, because you may have not acted in a way that you're proud of. You may have not said things that you're proud of, but that challenge came to show you how you really felt, what was really going on for you, and now you have to make a decision based on that challenge. Are you going to win the challenge by doing something better by coming up higher in terms of how you work with, talk with, and love someone, so that that relationship can be improved and so that you can become better for it. So looking at the word challenging, are we going to decide to keep this emotion, to increase this emotion, or to decrease? It depends on what you want out of life that determines your answer. If you want life to have surprises, and if you want to be able to grow and build and stretch, if you want to have a stimulating experience as a human being, you have to be willing to face, endure, and overcome challenges. And so think about increasing this emotion of feeling challenged, not for the sake of frustration, but for the sake of growth, building, striving, and feeling like you've conquered and won. For the sake of seeing all that there is to you, because there's so much more to who you are, and you haven't even begun to scratch the surface unless you started to deal with, conquer, and go through challenges to see what you're truly made of, and to grow and to stretch and to learn. So thank you for joining me. My name is Gessy Martinez, author, therapist, and coach, helping you define, describe, and decide to master your emotions. Until next time.